Iwagumi is what got me into this hobby 10 years ago, and it might just be what takes me out of this hobby. These are so hard to do well. In this video, you're gonna watch me struggle through the creation of this classic Iwagumi featuring wild rhino stone and some Hemianthus cuba, some tall hair grass in the back in the ADA Cube Garden. If you like my content, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. And if you want to support me even more, I did soft launch memberships in the background. You can go ahead and sign up, but the hard launch comes at 20K subs, which we're right around the corner from. All right, let's get started with the build. This whole build I'm doing today is in collaboration with Aquarium. I'll link their shop in the description. They were kind enough to provide me with all the equipment, plants, and Hardscape. So because I'm working with a full ADA system, I decided to use the ADA method of setup. All the ADA creators, they use these supplements at the base of their substrate. The first one going in is Bacter 100. As the name implies, this has over 100 different species of dormant bacteria that are activated when the tank is flooded. And this powder is essentially going to help promote healthy conditions in the soil. Next in goes the Clear Super. This also helps promote the growth of beneficial bacteria and keeps the water quality clear. And then finally, I'm adding the Bottom Plus. This is essentially a fertilizer, and it's going to support the roots of the plant. ADA system or not, I always add root tabs when setting up my soil. I'm a big proponent of a nutrient-rich soil. And with our additives in, it's time to add the AQUASOIL. I've got the ADA AQUASOIL here, and I'm gonna start out with just a base to support the stones. It's time for the hard part. So you think you're a good scaper? Try doing a minimalistic Iwagumi with like 3 to 5 stones. You'll be working on it forever. At least that's how it is for me. So first thing I did was kind of select the most prime piece of this wild rhino stone, which, might I add, comes all the way from Poland, Aquarium based in San Francisco. They're just about the only supplier in the States that has this. So I'm really grateful to be able to work with this really beautiful stone. First thing you want to do is find the most beautiful side of it, and then you want to line it up at the focal point. So whether that's the left third, the right third, it's up to you whether or not you want to get really granular with the details. But generally speaking, our eyes are drawn to something at one of those highlight points. And then there's the whole structural aspect of things. So maybe you found the perfect angle of your rock and you're like, okay, it looks great like that rotated. Now it's got to stay by itself, and me being one person filming, it's just a nightmare. So this required a lot of patience and kind of adjusting something. The rock falls over, you readjust, but eventually I got things looking pretty good. And then once those main 2 stones are in place, in my experience, the rest kind of comes together. You're really just supporting the stones. You're creating tension with alternating angles, and you're creating harmony by supporting angles you've already established. When you're placing supporting stones, I really like to have them point towards the corners, because essentially that implies the eyes should look beyond. And it's a way of telling a story, basically. You're taking the eye on a journey. So you can get as granular and cerebral with this stuff as you want. I know I go down the rabbit hole, but at the end of the day, if it looks good to you, it looks good to you, and I found a balance that looks good to me. So as always with Iwagumis and most hardscape layouts in general, really good idea to just kind of top off the soil once the stones are in place. That'll make the stones look lived in and will further support the structural integrity of your layout. All right, now it's time to plant. Like I said, Iwagumis got me into this hobby, and those were really simple, classic Takashi Amano Iwagumis. So I'm keeping it simple, I'm keeping it classic. I'm going with the Hemianthus cuba carpet. And here's a little pro tip. On day 1, plant as dense as you can afford. This is a little 30 by 30 cube. I'm still using 7 cups of cuba because I want to fill that soil up. You might still have melt. Carpeting plants, even the healthiest carpeting plants, they might melt back a little bit. But if you plant dense from the start, you're going to reduce your chances of melt. You can help balance out the biology. But most importantly, it's going to look really good on day 1. And you won't just be chomping at the bit wondering when your carpet's going to fully grow in, because with this amount of plants on day 1, I've got this bad boy pretty dense. As for the background, I want to work with another classic ADA plant. And this is a plant that is, again, fairly exclusive to the ADA lineup. Very hard to find here in the States. It's the taller cousin of Eleocharis montevidensis. And this variety grows quite a bit taller. It can grow taller than this tank if I let it, but it'll be the perfect little minimalistic zen-like background plant. So I'm working with about 4 cups of that. Again, want to plant it pretty dense. And with the planting done, it was time to just take a couple steps back, flood this bad boy, and install the equipment. I'm working with an ADA Superjet filter. This is a dream piece of equipment. I had really only seen them online and in person when visiting my friend Yuri, so to actually have one here in my hands, man, these things are expensive, but the build quality is just off the chain. You know, it's like an Apple product. You're paying a premium for it. A lot of folks would argue they're overpriced, but the build quality is just there and it just works. It's such a pleasure to set up, and it is jam-packed with biomedia, and it comes with the tubing and the lily pipes, so super happy with this thing. I've got a really gentle flow, which is gonna be great for our livestock that we are about to add. So this is a tiny Iwagumi, and one thing I'm constantly trying to stress to beginners who are into the aquascaping approach is scale is everything. So, you know, you put some neon tetras in here, you're gonna kill it. They're gonna look giant compared to your stones and your plants. We've taken a lot of time and effort to build this sense of scale to trick the eye. It's easy to ruin it with the wrong fish choice. So I went with the tiniest fish in the hobby. These are chili rasboras. I purchased about 10 of them from my local fish store, Pet Zone. They threw in a few extra for me. Thank you, Jeff. So I'm adding these chili rasboras a couple days after the initial setup, and I did a big water change this morning, but most importantly, I'm using pre-cycled biological filter media in the filter. If you don't do that, you have to go through and cycle your aquarium, but this has mature media. Once you have an established aquarium in your home, it can always seed your future tanks, and I have media that's been established for years at this point. So I've got my own little specialized Logan Rano aquascaping colony of bacteria that I just move from aquarium to aquarium. So over the weeks, these guys will color up. I hope you enjoyed the build. If you like my content, consider becoming a channel member. When we hit 20K, I'm doing a giveaway, so now's the time. That giveaway is gonna be exclusive to members, but I gotta hear from you guys. We added the fish. What shrimp should we add? We could go a variety of different colors. I'm probably thinking Neocaridina, but I'm also open to Caridina. That's a classic ADA choice. Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys and gals next time. Bye-bye.